Hey everyone, welcome back to the studio. Today I'm going to be reviewing Riverdale Season 1 Episodes 9 and 10, Chapter 9, the Grande Illusion, and Chapter 10, the Lost Weekend. Before I get into it, just a couple quick things to say. First of all, if you can please subscribe to my channel, I really appreciate it. I'm trying to reach a goal of winning 150 subscribers before the end of 2020. I changed this goal from 200 to 150 because I think it's a bit more reasonable to accomplish throughout this short period of time. So please subscribe down below. Again, I really appreciate it. Also, please pray for my broken arm. I have surgery on it tomorrow. Early in the morning, I have to be there at 5 a.m. It's a 7:30 a.m. surgery, so if prayers will be appreciated. And I'll make sure to tell everyone how it went on Monday during Monday's video, which will be a Pumpkin Pie Wars movie review. Anyways, again, liking the video always helps, and commenting always helps so I can hear your feedback. And the podcast is also available all over all podcast streaming platforms. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into these Riverdale reviews. So, Chapter 9, La Grande Illusion. So this podcast episode pretty much focuses on several things. The main plot is Archie agrees to help Cheryl be her escort to a gathering. And I think that this, because like Archie and Cheryl have always had an interesting relationship throughout like this season and in the comics. I think that it's really interesting to have them in these scenes together. I don't know. I think that they have some chemistry. I'm not sure if it's all romantic chemistry. I think that it's kind of cute what they have together. Pretty much, there's like a maple thing, or where like they have to tap the tree and like the syrup comes out, maple syrup, like gathering. You get that, and so that's kind of the story in this episode. Archie agrees to help Cheryl out, but it turns out that the Blossoms say that they can get Archie into get a really good music scholarship for him if he agrees to be Cheryl's escort. So he agrees because, of course, Archie, he's only focused on, he focuses on himself a lot, which is fine. I mean, he agrees to be Cheryl's escort only so he can get into the school. So he goes, and then, like, I figure the Blossoms end up asking him to go to more events with Cheryl, and Cheryl does develop feelings for Archie, but Archie is with Valerie right now that he's dating her, so he can't be in a relationship with Cheryl. Although I think that Archie is attracted to Cheryl a little bit as well, but I think it's more so on Cheryl's side than Archie's side. So it's kind of like a rocky relationship. So he gets invited to go to dinner, but luckily while he's at it, he's able to talk to Polly because last episode Polly left to go live with the Blossoms instead of the Coopers, and I'm going to talk about Polly in a second. But Cheryl kisses Archie, and while he does return the kiss, he ends up leaving, and pretty much Cheryl decides that Archie is pretty much just like all the other men in her life, rude and all that kind of stuff. And to be fair, I wasn't. I mean, Archie, like, I think he did the right thing considering he's with someone, but he kissed her back, so he was in the wrong too. But I don't know. Cheryl kind of was like, because I think that she looked really good in like those dresses, and I kind of understand where she's coming from. But she definitely kind of got on my nerves this episode, especially because she wanted Archie, and I think that Archie and Cheryl, I think they have some chemistry together, but I think that they did this one kiss just so they could test out that chemistry, but not like they're gonna do anything with it because Cheryl ends up later coming out as lesbian. So I think that they put it in there just so fans could have that and to kind of fit with the storyline, but I don't think it was needed. And Valerie does break up with Archie as well, saying that unlike him, she can't be bought. And this has to do with the Blossoms because Valerie was jealous that, she thought that Cheryl was going to take Archie away from her. And to be fair, I mean, I get where she's coming from because Cheryl was paying Archie a lot of attention. So yeah, Valerie breaks up with him, and now Archie is a single man, and Cheryl and Valerie are not huge fans of him, but I'm pretty sure that him and Veronica is going to be the next relationship for him. This whole thing with Valerie kind of almost felt like a waste of time because they didn't explore. They only had them practicing together, and then we didn't get anything else after that, only for her to break up with him. It was just kind of like it almost felt like a wasted relationship. And I think that if Cheryl didn't get in the way, this episode could have been like a cool relationship because we got to see them at the beginning eating breakfast at Pop's, with like pancakes. Eat them in pancakes, and that was cute. I wish we just got to see more of that because I think that they actually had good chemistry together. They both have similar interests, but So she breaks up with him. So the next storyline this episode is all about Polly, Polly and Betty, and Jughead and Alice. So pretty much, Alice really wants to get revenge on the Blossoms, and it's first stealing Polly from her, and Jason Blossom, and even the feud between them later, like earlier on, all those years ago, and that's revealed in my next podcast episode. I'll talk all about the feud between them and what we know so far. But she's ready to get revenge on them, and what do I think? Well, that's interesting. Like, good job, Alice. But I don't know. It was kind of like, what are your motives here? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, but I think that Betty, by the end, I think that we got to see Betty and Jughead have some cute scenes together, and I think I enjoy that. So that's kind of that storyline. I don't know what to think about it necessarily, but I don't know. But like, I think that this whole thing between the Coopers and Blossoms is kind of entertaining. I think that it's pretty cool. So let's talk about Veronica and Ethel in this episode. So pretty much, Ethel was introduced earlier this season, and she was one of the people that Chuck was slut shamed by. And pretty much they come together, and it turns out that there's some business dealings with Hiram and Ethel's dad. And Ethel's dad apparently, like, something bad happens to him. Like, he, like, took all, like, his pills, and I don't know, something like that. And it caused Veronica to finally come clean to Ethel about the truth of their father's business. And Ethel's mom gets mad. Luckily, this relationship is able to clear up by the end. And I don't know, is this a filler plotline? You may ask me. I don't think so, but also Hermione tells Fred the truth in this episode, that she and Hiram are the anonymous buyers at the drive-in, which causes Fred to end their romantic relationship. So no more Fred and Hermione. That is done. So am I sad? A little bit, but okay, I'm going to talk about episode 10 really quick. So this was the party thing, and pretty much it's Jughead's birthday party. And he doesn't like birthdays. He had a rough childhood, which is understandable. He just doesn't want his birthday to be celebrated. So, but despite his thing, Archie and Betty decided to throw him a surprise birthday party, and they also get FP to attend. And Jughead does not like it. Him and Betty get into a huge fight. They almost break up, but luckily they're able to repatch things, and they declare that they love each other and that they'll always be there for each other, and I like that. So luckily they're solid. And there's also a storyline with Chuck Clayton. He's back in this episode. He's the slut shamer from episode 3, and there's a feud between him and Betty, and all the memories from the hot tub are coming back, and pretty much Chuck wants to get revenge on Betty for her Black Betty phase. But luckily, Betty is pretty smart, so she slaps Chuck across the face before he can do any harm. Chuck reveals his secret to everyone, which causes Jughead and Chuck to get into a fight. So that's like the main storyline. That's kind of what's there. Besides that, Archie and Veronica have some sparks this episode. Pretty much, Archie comforts Veronica when it comes to, like, her family business, and she's just upset about her father. And it turns out that there's still some things going on with Clifford Blossom and his whole thing, and that whole thing, which I think is interesting. I'm excited to see that storyline progress farther. And Joaquin and Kevin's relationship also heats up too. And Cheryl and Veronica have a dance off, and Cheryl gets annoyed at Veronica's attention on the team. And that is pretty much episode 10 for you guys. And so I'm going to kind of talk about my favorite moments from each of the episodes. My favorite moment from episode 9 is probably my favorite moment is probably the Betty and Jughead cute scene where they reveal that they'll always be there for each other. I love that. I also liked Valerie breaking up with Archie. I think that he really deserved that. I also liked the Veronica and Ethel friendship. Just some things I didn't really like. I did not like Cheryl kissing Archie. Well, like, she knew it was the wrong thing to do. I wasn't really a huge fan of that. And in episode 10, my favorite moment was probably Betty and Jughead and Archie and Veronica. I like that stuff. My least favorite moment was probably the whole Chuck Clayton thing. That really got on my nerves because he as a character really gets on my nerves. But anyways, so that is kind of my review of episodes 9 and 10 of Riverdale, La Grande Illusion, and The Lost Weekend. Next week I'll be talking all about season 1, episodes 11 and 12. We have two Riverdale and Back Again, and I think like anatomy or something. I'm not really sure, but anyways, I want to thank everyone for watching the studio. Like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications to never miss an upload. And bye.